Starting off with the Premier League, our first pick sees 3rd place Newcastle playing host to 18th place Ipswich Town. And Newcastle, they were thoroughly embarrassed in their last game away to Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins opened the scoring after just 1 minute thanks to a deflection off Fabian Schär, but the Swiss defender would then atone with his header around 15 minutes later to level the scores at 1-1. Ollie Watkins could have scored a first-half hat-trick in the game, but the post and the crossbar kept the scores level at the half-time break. Aston Villa would go on from here to score thrice more in the second half though, thanks to Maatsen, Onana and a Burns own goal for a 4-1 final score. The nature of the defeat was pretty shocking for most Newcastle fans as they produced next to nothing in the second period and were simply outclassed by their host. Form-wise, that loss did break a run of 5 wins in a row for Newcastle, but they are still in contention for those top 5 Champions League spots. They hosted Ipswich Town side who were thoroughly outclassed by an in-form Arsenal team in their last game. Leandro Trossard opened the scoring after just 14 minutes, with Martinelli doubling the lead after around half an hour. From here on out, things only got worse for Ipswich Town when left-back Leif Davis brought down Bukayo Saka for a straight red card. The only silver lining for Ipswich in the first half was that it would finish 2-0, as Saka passed up a number of opportunities to add the 3rd and the 4th goal for Arsenal. However, in the second period, the 3rd and 4th goals would eventually come, thanks to Leandro Trossard completing his brace, and Ethan Nwaneri off the bench for a final score of 4-0. In terms of form, it's now no win in 3 league games for Ipswich Town, and with a 15-point difference between them and West Ham, they're going to need to win all their remaining games and hope that the Irons lose all of their remaining games. Otherwise, it is championship for the Tractor Boys. When we take a look at the head-to-head record, the previous encounter between these sides was a bit of a one-sided affair. Newcastle jumped into a lead thanks to Isaac scoring in the very first minute. Jacob Murphy then doubled the lead after around half an hour, before Isaac completed his hat-trick in the 47th and 54th minute. Taking a look at the numbers, Newcastle were the better side, but they did only manage an XG of 2.33 in the game, which does indicate that Isaac was more clinical than the average Premier League striker, which I don't think comes to much of a surprise to most Premier League fans. My prediction for today's game is that with Ipswich all but relegated at this point, Kieran McKenna made a side to rotate and experiment ahead of next season in the Championship. However, there's no such luxury for Eddie Howe and Newcastle. They sit 3rd place in the table at the time of recording, with only a few points separating 3rd through 7th, so they do need to keep winning to book a spot in the Champions League next season, and I think they're going to go all out to do the double over the Tractor Boys. Newcastle to win for a full stake here in bet number 1.